Hello, Professor. I'm Siddarth Vuppula, and now I'm going to present the paper on the realism of LiDAR spoofing attacks against autonomous driving vehicles. In this presentation, I'm going to include a title, Introduction, Research Problem, Contributions, Correctness and Clarity, Research Goals, Key Findings, Data Sources, Techniques and Overview, Key Insights, Reflection and Future Work, Connections to another research, Conclusion, References. Here, in the title, the title of this paper is on the realism of LiDAR spoofing attacks against autonomous driving vehicles. This work is authored by researchers from UC Irvine and Keio University. The central idea of this paper is to understand whether the LiDAR spoofing, which is inserting fake or manipulated LiDAR signals, can realistically fool an autonomous vehicles in actual driving conditions. Till now, most spoofing studies were limited to short distance and low speed. So this paper fills a very important gap. In introduction, LiDAR is one of the most important sensors in the level 4 autonomous driving. It provides accurate 3D perception of the environment, and autonomous vehicles rely heavily on it for the object detection, localization, and decision making. LiDAR can be spoofed using malicious lasers that overwrite real LiDAR returns. Previous attacks demonstrated this only in controlled environments at low speeds or at distance less than 10 meters. So the main motivation of this is to know that can such attacks work in real world driving conditions, or can they work when a vehicle is moving at 60 70 miles per hour and the attacker is more than 100 to 150 meters away. This paper explores that in detail. And in the next slide, the research problem. The research addressed four key questions in this. These are: can LiDAR spoofing be effectively at very long distances, particularly at more than 100 meters? Can spoofing still work on vehicles moving at high speed, like up to 60 to 70 miles, which introduces significant tracking challenges? Mimicking. Can the attacks bypass modern LiDAR security features such as timing randomization and pulse fingerprinting? And if the attack works, does it actually breaks an autonomous driving perception system? Meaning, does the vehicle fail to detect obstacles? These are the significant questions because modern AD systems depends heavily on LiDAR data, and any deception can lead to dangerous outcomes. In the next slide, contribution. This paper makes several groundbreaking contributions. A fully functionally moving vehicle spoofing system capable of tracking and targeting a moving car from long distances. Introduction of AHFR, or the AHFR can be adaptive high frequency removal attack, which is the first to bypass LiDARs protected with pulse fingerprinting. Demonstration of the first long range and high speed spoofing attack in a regular outdoor environment. First attack evaluated on an actual open source AD software attack, and is achieved 96% plus point removal before the vehicle even reached its braking distance, which implies a real world safety hazards. These contributions evaluate the LiDAR spoofing research from lab experiments to real world vehicle scenarios. In the next slide, correctness and clarity. Regarding correctness, the authority builds real hardware and tested it rigorously. They use four commercial LiDAR models: VLP3230, Livox Horizon, HSI XT32, and AT128, including new generation LiDARs with security pins. They perform tests indoor, outdoor, and on a moving car. They also included closed loop evaluations with AutoWare AI, meaning the attack influenced actual vehicle decisions. This paper is also well organized because they include clear diagrams of the detection system, tracking pipeline, and spoofing architecture, and also the tables of result. This helps readers understand exactly how the attackers work. The research goal. The goal of the research are to test whether LiDAR spoofing is visible under realistic driving conditions. to build a robust tracking and aiming system that can keep the laser pointed at a moving target at a high speed, to create spoofing methods capable of bypassing advanced LiDAR defense mechanisms, and finally, to access the real safety impact of autonomous driving systems. In the next slide, the key findings. There are several key findings. Vision-based LiDAR detection fails beyond 5 meters because LiDAR units appears too small in RGB images. The author's IR camera approach successfully detects LiDARs up to 100 meters away, which is critical for a long-range attack. A HFR achieves over 96% removal even against LiDARs with pulse fingerprinting. Both HFR and AHFR remains effective when the target vehicle is driving at 60 kilometers per hour. Under attack, the AD system completely fails to detect crucial obstacles such as pedestrian or a car, which shows direct collision risk. These results prove that LiDAR spoofing is not hypothetical, it is an actual safety threat. On the next slide, data sources. They collected data from multiple sources. Real LiDAR hardware output, IR camera tracking frames, outdoor test track experiments with distance up to 100 to 100 meters, driving drills across speeds from 100 to it's 10 to 60 kilometers per hour, AutoWare AI perception model output. Using diverse real-world datasets adds credibility to the results and ensure they reflect practical conditions. On the next slide, technique review. The MVI system, the core of the attack, has three main components: IR camera detection and tracking, auto aiming system, spoofing system. IR camera detection and tracking, instead of using an RGB camera, they use an infrared camera that can directly detect LiDAR's IR laser emission. This makes the detection LiDARs agnostic and stable even at a long distance. Auto aiming system. A high precision servo motor continuously rotates the attack device to maintain alignment with the target LiDAR even as the vehicle moves at a high speed. Sorry for that. Spoofing system. This includes arranged lasers and a powerful mirror antenna that focus incoming LiDAR pulse into a receiver. This follows both injection attacks and removal attacks, especially the new HFR attack. Overall, the system works like a guided weapon that constantly tracks and spoofs of the LiDAR. Purchase bumper. Purchase bumper. System. Three. The next slide. Key insights. These are the important insights to take away. IR detection is dramatically more effective than RGB detection at long distances. The parabolic antenna greatly increases signal captures from LiDAR, enabling long-range synchronization. The AHS-4 attacks uses weak synchronization. That means it doesn't need full LiDAR scan details, allowing very high frequency pulse without overheating the laser. AD systems rely heavily on LiDAR, so removing LiDAR points creates deadly blind spots. Removal attacks are more dangerous than injection attacks, especially when vehicles are moving fast. These insights show when current AD systems are vulnerable. And the next slide. Reflections and future work. This research shows that spoofing is not just technically possible but practically feasible in realistic traffic conditions. It also shows that precision system doesn't go on the driver or the system when LiDAR data is manipulated. They fail silently. For future work, the author suggests strengthening defense and spoofing detection methods, expanding research to multiple sensor attacks that spoof both LiDAR and cameras, developing stronger fingerprints techniques, creating real-time detection systems to catch spoofing attacks while they occur. These directions could help build safer autonomous vehicles. And in the next slide, connections to other research. This work builds on prior research in LiDAR spoofing, drone spoofing, and also sensor fusion attacks. but it goes much further in realism. Most previous research was limited to simulations or lab settings. This paper bridges the gap between theoretical attacks and physical world autonomous vehicle testing, making it highly impactful for AD security and sensor security research. And for the next slide, it's a conclusion slide. To conclude, LiDAR spoofing is a real and practical threat to autonomous vehicles. The MVA system demonstrates long range and high speed attacks that were previously through to impractical. The AHFR attack bypasses modern LiDAR defense and removes most of the LiDAR points. Closed loop tests show severe consequences autonomous vehicles can fail to detect objects and potential collide. This research highlights the urgent need for stronger LiDAR security mechanism. And for the references, these are the main references I used. And this also includes the NDSS 2025 paper and supporting sensor documentation. And also the background sensor security literature. And thank you for this, Professor.